How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome to Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. Tonight, we're going to be doing another segment on Get to Know That Cosplayer. And tonight's cosplay guest is my good friend, Roman, aka the Faustian Spider. How you doing tonight, Roman?
Hello, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. Got it. Okay, and have to readjust my volume real quick. Wait, no. So how you been lately? I know we had to re-record your podcast interview due to me accidentally deleting it.
It is all good. Gives me a chance to edit myself from all my mistakes from last interview.
It's actually been a while since we did your last interview. So as always, I'm sure you're familiar with how this segment goes by now. To begin, how long have you been cosplaying for now?
Oh gosh, I didn't know the answer then, and I don't know it now. It started, let's see here, freshman year of high school was the first time I got actually into knowing what cosplay was. So let's see, freshman year was for, oh my God, math. 8 years? Eight. I'm an age. I'm gonna go 8 years. Final answer.
Okay, 8 years. That's a pretty long time. Mine's telling what your very first cosplay was and what your very first convention was back then.
Ooh, okay. Very first convention I remember was SoccerCon, which I feel like is probably not the best con to start off with, going to like the most giant one in the area. But I had a lot of
Isn't
fun.
SoccerCon in Washington?
It is. It's up in Seattle. It's a really big
So
one up
it's
there.
a pretty big anime convention.
Yeah, I was, little 14, 15-year-old me was like, I'm gonna go to Seattle. And I did. And I recall my very first ever I guess calling it official cosplay, was Mr. Claude Faustus from Black Butler.
Of course, the
I was gonna say, where do you think the username comes from?
I mean, have you actually? Yeah, I've seen, and I think what a lot long ago you actually updated your Claude Faustus.
I haven't worn him properly in well over a year, but he's definitely come far from the. I opened my closet at age 14 and got a wig off Amazon. He's definitely improved from there.
Yeah, you're definitely most lonely for cosplaying like male characters, if I'm not mistaken.
It's true. I'll do female ones every now and then, but yeah, even from the start, I was always joking that if I ever needed to go to like a fancy event, I've got so many blazers and suits from all the variations of men in blazers and suits I cosplay, so I'm set.
So what was it like cosplaying as Claude from Black Butler 2?
Ooh, it's really funny because half the time, people either think that I'm Sebastian, which is the funniest thing in my opinion, or they just don't really know who I am. I've just had the funniest thing that happened was a fellow cosplayer who was cosplaying Kyoya from Oron High School Host Club, came up to me and was like, "Bro, we're both cosplaying characters that are voiced by J. Michael Tatum. Can you take a picture with
No.
me?" And I was like, you know what? I do not want to crush this person's dreams. I don't want to embarrass them. For you, for this 15 seconds, I'm Sebastian Michaelis.
Even though Claude and Sebastian are two different people, one's hair is kind of like swooshed and spiked at certain points, and also wears glasses.
Yeah, I didn't want to be a dream crusher.
Oh no, I mean,
I'll let you do it.
I imagine they were like a younger cosplayer.
Yeah, and they were so happy. So I was like, you know what? For you, new identity. I'm Sebastian now.
Why not? I mean, they're both demon butlers. So,
Same idea, same concept.
so Soccer Con, you said that was your first con, and it was also your first major con. What was that like, especially being a 14-year-old little cosplayer at the time?
It was actually a lot of fun. I went with a friend of mine from high school, who's a little bit older than me. So she drove us up, but everyone was so welcoming. It was really nice. Like I didn't feel like, like, oh, like you're too young to be here, or like why are you here? Like everyone was super welcoming and really friendly and like helped me find my way invited me to like hang out with them. So it was a really positive like first experience, and it's kind of what made me stick with the hobby. Was like, whoa, people are so nice.
it's always good to know when you go to a convention and the con goers are very welcoming. And I mean, I imagine there's been some conventions that you've gone to where they're not a fan of new people coming into their con because they don't like outsiders, so to speak.
It's true. I've definitely experienced that in cons. Um, but I'd say more often than not, it's usually a positive experience. But yeah, definitely had some that weren't too welcoming.
Now, when it comes to a first time cosplayer or con goer who was thinking about going to these, would you recommend Soccer Con for their first con, or would you recommend a smaller con to get into it to see if they like it or not?
I would recommend if you're gonna go big, definitely have at least one or two people that you know already there. Because it can get really overwhelming if you're kind of just by yourself. So if you're going big, I'd say bring like a group along with you. But I think if you're wanting to go just by yourself and like experience it, then I would definitely recommend like a smaller local one and then build your way up from there.
It sounds, I mean, I can't argue with that. Now on to your cosplays. Um, let's see here. It's been give me thinking. So after you were done, after you cosplayed Claude for the first time, who else? Who was your second cosplay that you did after him?
Oh goodness. Oh, you're making me stretch back. Go scroll down my Instagram really quick and see who's down there. I know it was Claude. I think it might have been Kyoya. I know he was one of the first ones. Kyoya from Oron. I had this like niche of like I see an anime boy with glasses, and I was like, "You, I'm cosplaying you."
Yeah, I've come to notice a lot of your character or your cosplays always have like glasses involved, whether it be Kyoya Senpai, Claude, or the guy from oh god, what was his name? He's from that horror game I can't remember.
Joseph Oda,
Yeah, from
The Evil Within,
yeah, thank you, Sebastian Castellanos' friend.
friend.
Well, you know what I mean. But yeah, no. What was it? What's it been like? Cosplaying for 8 years.
Oh goodness, it's really fun. Like looking back, especially like my first couple years, and seeing like I was having the time of my life, but like I look back on those photos and I'm like, literally, who let me out the door looking like this? Like someone had to look at me, see what I was looking like, and be like, "Yes, Roman, go out onto the floor. You're ready." But I think it's a good segue into just like, as long as you are having fun with it, like you're looking your best. So I definitely am proud of like where I've improved, like makeup wise, costume wise, wig wise. But it's really nice like looking back and being like, you know what, I might have looked atrocious, but I was having the time of my life.
I think that's all that should, really matter. And it seems like you've come a long way. I mean, you got roughly over 7,000 followers on Instagram.
Do I? Good
Yeah.
for me.
But like in all seriousness, though, what would you say your favorite cosplay has been so far in the past eight
Ooh.
years, whether it be recent or past cosplay?
Hmm. Okay, I'll do one female and one male. I'll separate them that way. My
Sounds.
absolute favorite female cosplay was Beast from Black Butler. We got a Black Butler theme going on here. I don't mean to.
Isn't
uh
Beast? She's the one who has the prosthetic leg, right?
correct.
Okay. See, I know my anime. I haven't seen
I know
I
too.
haven't seen Black Butler 2, but I had to think. Wait, is Beast the one with the white hair?
Oh, I don't
Oh
know.
no, no, not Doll. But yeah, no, I know who Beast is.
She was a lot of fun. We had a whole group, and we did a panel. Actually, it was so funny. I found the panel that we did the other day because it got uploaded onto YouTube. Um, and I was like, man, this was so much fun. She was a lot of fun to cosplay. So she's definitely been my favorite female one. Oh gosh, now I gotta pick my best boy. Best boy. Let's see. I'm probably gonna go. I'll say Dr. Frankenstein from Soul Eater
Oh,
because
Stein. Nice.
yeah, he was, but he's the one that I've remade the most, I think, between like three sides and four screws in my head.
Yeah, I remember when we first did your interview. I know I asked about the screw in his head. How did you go about making that? And I take it you were hiding it under the wig or on top of the wig, like a headband.
It was a little bit of both, because the way that his wig was funny story about Stein's wig. The first time that I ever styled it, I was like, man, I'm so happy with how I did this. This is wonderful. I take it off of the wig head and I realize, oh my God, I just styled this wig backwards. I was like, you know what? We're gonna make it work. And so because I had styled it backwards, all of the hair was layered in a way that it was like thicker than it was actually meant to be. So it's like this works in my favor. I'm a genius. So the screw itself was like a headband as the base, which is what was hidden under the wig. And then I got the kind of these like foam dome. That's fun to say. Foam
Foam
domes
dome.
from Foam
Hashtag
Dome.
hashtag foam dome.
Hashtag Foam Dome. Faustian Foam Dome. Uh, Foam Dome from like Michaels or Joann's, and then just like carved out the screw shape from that, um, and sort of made my base. And then the actual like body of the screw was just I started with PVC pipe and then I realized this is far too heavy. This is not going to work. So I just used paper towel roll and then painted it all the same color and boom, screw in the head.
Nice. Now, when it comes to making, when it comes to someone wanting to make their first cosplay, especially whether it be a big like a big cosplay, small cosplay, or like even a cosplay prop, what would you recommend when it comes to also, if you're especially if you're a cosplayer on a budget?
Well, that's me, definitely. I would say YouTube has been my absolute friend with people very graciously posting their tutorials on there. One of the things that has always helped me is to not buy your actual like products for your first run. Buy like cheaper materials, like for example with the screw, like buy like the paper towel holder and like easy things from the dollar store so you can get a feel for like size, shape, and how things work. And then you can invest in your actual materials. Because if you're spending all your money on like your big final product materials, they're gonna rack up a really nice bill. So I'm always a super big fan of mock-ups first, because they also keep you from getting frustrated, so you don't like wreck your final product.
Especially if you're on a budget and you don't have the money to buy, the stuff again.
Precisely. Like I absolutely butchered a sword one time because I was getting impatient and I was like, I just want to do my final product now. It turned out horrendously and I got so discouraged from that. And so I was like, you know what, this is why I do my practice and my mock-ups. Because it might save you time in the like, short run, but in the long run you're gonna probably regret it like I did.
I don't want that. Let's see here now. I guess on that topic of, messing up on cosplays or props, what's your number one cosplay mishap you had? It could be any cosplay that you felt like was like something tore, ripped while you were getting ready at the con, or even, competing in a cosplay contest.
Ooh, I've got a couple. I'll give you two good
Okay,
ones.
okay.
First one's short and sweet. I had my dog pee all over my costume. It was an all white costume, and my dog was like, "Man, this is the perfect spot to go to the bathroom." Um, can say I was less than pleased with that one. Uh, but yeah, so I didn't wear that one, obviously. But
What was the cosplay of? Was it like an OC or or actual
I
character?
was Farid Bothroy from Awari no Seraph,
No
little
idea
little
what that's
vamp.
from.
That is a-okay. He basically is in an all white. He's a vampire, and he's in this all white sort of like military style dress.
What's his name?
Farid Bothroy, I believe I'm pronouncing it right. From
Farid
Come,
Farid Bothroy. Continue.
yeah. Oh, you're all good. Write your notes. Get your receipts. So that was that was
Oh
super fun.
wow, yeah,
Having
he is
dogs
wearing a
yell.
lot of white, and
Yep, you see him now. There he is.
them some tall ass boots.
I can send you a picture of the boots that I wore back in my wee little days of, you know, I'm
Yeah,
17 and I'm invincible. I bought these giant boots for him that had
jeez.
like huge heels. And by the time the convention ended, I went home and I took them off and I was like, I can't feel my feet. This is strange. And then I ended up giving myself nerve damage in
Oh
my
yeah,
feet
I mean
from
those
the
boots,
shoe.
those are practically like you're wearing pants. How,
No, literally.
um, if you don't mind me asking, how long did it take to put those fucking things on? Excuse my language, but good
You're all
God.
good. I also made the mistake of the ones that I purchased purely for the aesthetic. I was like, I don't want a zipper on the side. It ruins the aesthetic. So I got ones without zippers because I'm a maniac. So getting those on, I want to say 5-ish minutes or so because they're like skin tight. So you had to like inch them up, inch, inch, inch. And I was like, you know what? This is. I don't need to do this. So I don't wear those anymore.
I'm looking at I'm looking at some pictures right now, like of the boots, and some of them aren't like that high up. Some are just like your good old knee high boots. Those are like up to your thigh, almost like past your your thighs.
Yeah, he's a little extra. He's very extra.
Oy, no kidding. And the second cosplay mishap.
Oh yes, this is less of a cosplay mishap, but more of a like makeup-esque mishap. But it goes along with it. I was planning on being part of this giant group of diamonds from Steven Universe.
I
So I was
remember
gonna
you going
be,
as Yellow Diamond once.
yeah. So that was the plan. The plan was yellow. Um, and I made the mistake of, man, I don't need to makeup test before con. I know what I'm doing. This will be great. And so I start to put on all my clothes, and I'm like, okay, first and foremost, my pants don't fit. We're off to a good start. And then I started putting on like, the actual yellow and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is rough. This is this is not looking great. And that was definitely we need to trial run before we go to con learning lesson for me. Um, because I looked like a banana and not an appealing banana. I made a pun. I didn't mean to do
It
that.
wasn't. You were a very unappealing banana.
No, it was so bad. I remember looking in the mirror and I was like, I look like I have jaundice. Like I don't look like a diamond. I look like I have jaundice. That's what's going on here.
I guess now that you brought up the makeup, I've noticed you done two other cosplays that required a lot of body paint. I think what Pink Diamond, I think it was. No, Rose
Yes.
Quartz. They're the same person.
Spoilers.
Oh, this show's been out for a long time. And you've also done Hades from Lore Olympus.
Yes, that is correct.
What was it like doing the body paint for both those? I know one probably required more body paint than the other.
It's true. Pink Diamond went the best painting I've ever done ever. That's the only time body paint has loved me was when I did Pink Diamond. She worked out very nicely. Hades was another nightmare. Um, because I didn't think and was like, man, my water-based paint will be fine if I take a sip of my water while at my photo shoot. Obviously, so it was a little bit of a rough patch for him. But everyone else in our group was also kind of having some times with their body paint. But that is where the power of editing comes in.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. Now when it comes to being a male cosplayer, what is it like? What is it like cosplaying just not only male characters but female characters as well?
It's been really interesting, like especially as a trans man myself, like seeing kind of the difference in the types of attentions that you'll get uh, in either cosplay. Because I've noticed definitely in male cosplay, like the male attention that I get is usually like, "Oh, bro, you look so cool, like that's awesome." Whereas like if I'm in a female cosplay, which are tend to be a little more revealing, it's definitely a lot more, you know, I haven't had too much of an issue of like people being too gross, which I know not everyone can say the same, but it's definitely been interesting seeing like the way you get attention or the way you get perceived depending on kind of the type of cosplays you're doing.
Have you ever had to deal with any gatekeeping as well when it comes to
Yeah.
cosplay?
Mm, I wouldn't say too badly. I kind of the way that I go about things, I'm pretty kind of unapologetically myself. So as like a plus size POC trans cosplayer, I'm like I'm a lot of things a lot of people don't like. But I've never really been like, oh man, should I stay out of here? Like I don't know if I should do this. Always been like, I'm doing this, and people are gonna deal with it. So
I mean, you're the one who's cosplaying the character. And actually, it's so this is something I'm going to bring up. Ask in a podcast I will be doing. Well, this video won't be out for a while. Well, anyway, um, so as a cosplayer of color, what advice would you like to give to the for not cosplayers who are not of color when they cosplay a character of color? What advice would you want to give?
ooh, loaded question. Let's see. I was just talking about this the other night. I obviously don't speak for every POC, and I only speak for like the Hispanic side of it as a Hispanic man. But I personally have no issues if slash non POC people want to cosplay a POC character, so long as like you stay your own skin tone. I definitely absolutely do not condone like tanning yourself or changing your skin color. I think that's should go without saying. But also
Put in the tapes by your eyes.
exactly. Yeah, I am definitely like you can obviously cosplay. Like I'm big on like cosplay whomever you feel, but at the same time, you need to do it in a way that you're not, you know, black facing or brown facing or any of that thing, which is absolutely unacceptable. Because I've seen plenty of white slash non POC cosplayers doing POC cosplays completely respectfully, and they look phenomenal doing it. Like you don't need to do anything to make yourself look quote unquote more accurate. You just look quote more racist.
No, no, I couldn't agree more. That's like I said, that's been a question. And the question is not meant to like offend anyone or hurt someone's feelings. It's just I figured as you as a a person of color who cosplays themselves that you can give some advice to white slash non people of color who cosplay some advice, especially because I know it's kind of a double edged sword no matter how you go about it.
No, yeah, definitely.
And
And yeah, it's nice to just have a conversation about it and like let people know like, hey, here's this person's point of view on it as a POC cosplayer.
no, most definitely. Now, before we talk about more of your cosplays, that's one of my favorite questions. Any cosplay horror stories you'd like to share?
Oh, let me think, let me think. I think I shared this one last time, but it's so funny that I have to share it again. Um, tooth. Call me talking about me eating a tooth.
Wait, what?
Okay. The punchline now that I ate a tooth, but here's the setup for eating a tooth. Um,
Oh,
so
goodness
back
gracious.
back to Mr. Farad. I brought him to I believe this was at a soccer con. And he's a vampire, so I got my silly little vampire fangs for my costume. And I believe we went to Starbucks before we hit the con floor to get like breakfast and coffee. And I got myself a little yogurt parfait. And I remember the variety of teeth that I got. I know there are some that you can keep in when you're eating, but the variety that I had, you're supposed to take out when you eat. So I popped my little bad boys out, put them on my napkin, and I ate my breakfast. And then I went to go like put my teeth back in, and there was only one. And I was like, what's going on here? So I don't have 100% confirmation, but I'm 95% sure that tooth entered my body and I ate it.
Oh no.
So I just went around as a little snaggletooth vampire for the rest of the con, which ended up
It
being fine.
it
But
works, but no, the fact that you may have potentially, possibly Without a doubt, it swallowed one of the teeth. That doesn't sound like it was fun at all.
It was. I was like, it could have been worse, but I was like, man, how many cosplayers can say, "Yeah, I ate a tooth for my costume"?
Oh man. Now what's that one cosplay that you've not done in so long that you would love to bring back when you do go to cons again?
Let me think. Let me think. What haven't I done in a good while? I really miss cosplaying Yukio from Blue Exorcist. I only did him like once when I was very, very, very young. But I feel like it would be fun to bring him back now that I know a bit more.
He's the
Like,
older brother, right?
that is correct.
Okay,
But I feel like it'd be a lot more fun.
the one who wears the one who wears the glasses.
Of course, it's me.
Now, before I ask the other version of that question, how I remember when I think when I first met you at Medford Comic Con back in 2017, you dressed up as Kiyoya Senpai in his maid dress outfit from
Yes,
the Lobelia Academy episode.
yes, yes.
I gotta ask, did you make that yourself? And follow up question: how long did it take?
So it was a joint effort between back when I lived down with my parents in Medford. Uh, the church that we attended had a woman who went there who was like an amazing costumer. Like she worked on like the theater stuff at the Criterion Theater down in Medford. So she was a phenomenal costumer. And so I worked with her at the church and like for I think it was either Christmas or my birthday, she was like, I would really love to like gift you like a costume for like all your hard work that you've done with me. And I was like, mind blown. This is insane. Can I work on it with you? And so it was a joint effort between the two of us to make this thing because I have obviously never created an entire ball gown before. So I was like, holy moly. And she was so willing to do it. It was amazing. But the two of us, I want to say, it was so long ago. I want to say just between scheduling and like time wise, I want to say a month.
It's
I
not
don't know about like active hours of work, but I believe it was about a month or so of us working on it together.
nice. Now you and your partner, how often do you both do couples cosplays?
Um,
It's a question I always forget to ask for those who are in the cosplayers who have a couple and ask if their partner cosplays with them and if they ever do like couples cosplays or what it's like having a cosplay significant other.
well, I don't currently, but in the past, what we did was pretty much like I always like to dedicate at least like one day or so to like, making sure my partner at the time and I are like doing a couple's cosplay. But I also like to do it with other people. But let me think. It was usually about I'd say one or two per convention. But it's a lot of fun and like photo shoots with someone that you're already comfortable with, like in that regard. Like I hope people are comfortable with their partners. But like photo shoots with someone you're already comfortable with bring out the absolute best photos. Like I've gotten my best photos from doing it with past partners.
Nice. Now another question related to about the cosplay related one. What's a cosplay that it was a one and done cosplay? Basically, it was cosplay that a friend asked you to do, or a character you were curious about cosplaying, but after cosplay, then you're just like, I don't want to cosplay that person ever again. Like it was just a one and done, and yeah.
I think I have several, but I think the one that was most like that was Nozomi from Love Live. I remember a friend of mine like her big dream was to have like a full Love Live group with like all the girls. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'd be down. So we got our whole group of nine. We had some awesome photos from a photo shoot from that. But afterwards, I was like, cool, I'm never wearing this again. Because there was a lot like the female cosplays that I normally do, like they're not super like frilly big dresses, like that kind of thing. What Love Live is very like, skirts and flowers and pigs. Ah!
It's your cutesy wootsy type anime.
It's very, which I very much like. Absolutely nothing against that. If anyone is into that, very much not my thing. So I was like walking around in my like little poofy skirt with my high heels and pigtails, and I was like, wow, I will never wear this again.
I mean, it happens. Um, let's see here. Okay, now I'm looking at the photo right now. Purple wig and the stockings and everything.
Yep.
That's a lot of freaking purple.
Yeah, which works. I was like, purple's my favorite color, and Nozomi and I have the same birthday, so I was like, you know what, meant to be. I will cosplay her for you. But yeah, after that, I was like, yeah, now she's out of here.
Nice. Now, who's the one? I'm looking at your uh cosplays right now. Who's that one? The one character like you're wearing that face mask with the zipper over it. Who is that character supposed to be?
Uh, does he have green hair?
Yes.
Okay, that is Korekio from Danganronpa 3.
Oh, Kurekyo Yoshi. I'm not even trying to pronounce that full name. So what was it like? Where did you get that mask?
Let me see. I think. Hold on. Me about to go scroll through my Instagram to see which one you're referencing.
Um,
Wada boom.
it's the one from it says like it was what December 17th, 2019.
I see it. Okay, got the picture. I believe this one was. This is the one that came with the wig when I bought it, because the wig came as like a set of like hat wig mask. And I remember that I only used this one for photos at home because I absolutely could not breathe in this thing for the life of me.
Was
Which I
it
think was funny before masks were a thing.
was the zipper part like functional or
It was like you could unzip it, but the mask itself would not separate. It was just like the zipper was like glued onto the mask. So like you could unzip
oh
it, but the mask itself just
oh it
stayed
wasn't
on there.
oh, okay it's not like it's not like that Tokyo Ghoul mask that you see people
Yeah.
wear. Okay.
Yeah, it's like not functional in any way.
Well, that's kind of a little redundant.
I know. But I was like, you know what? It works. But then I went online and I believe I bought one of those like I don't know the proper term for them, but they're the ones that like skiers use where they like go down your neck and like you flip them over.
Oh, a balaclavis.
That one, yes.
Okay, nice. Now, any future cosplays that you're in the middle of working on, or characters that you would like to cosplay later down the road when given the opportunity?
Ooh, let me think. I know I stated last time I'm still gonna make Obi-Wan Kenobi happen. He didn't happen for any Medford or any of those, but this man is happening. I'm gonna make it happen.
Um,
Uh,
which version? Whether Phantom Menace, Episode 2, 3, or the prequel or the sequels?
I definitely want to do Revenge of the Sith is like top priority, number one Kenobi. But I'd really like to give like the animated Clone Wars Kenobi a try. I really like the design in that. Um, so I think those two, but Revenge of the Sith will definitely be my priority one first.
No, on that topic of Obi-Wan Kenobi, how are you gonna go about? I know the wig's gonna be easy. How are you gonna go about the beard? Are you gonna try to make that yourself, or are you gonna get that commissioned?
I'm not sure. I've never done like beard stuff myself. So I definitely would want to give it a try. It might end up being like I give it a try, I hate what I do, and then I go commission someone. But I definitely like to give it a whirl myself, just because it's a skill that I haven't had to like have need of before. But I definitely wouldn't mind that in my wheelhouse.
Nice. Well, if you're looking to get a wig made, and those who are listening, a I think they're either Washington or Oregon based. They have an SC. They go by the Wig Unicorn, and she makes exceptional wigs. So I definitely would. She did a Princess Leia wig for a friend of hers once, so definitely would look into getting a hold of her.
Oh heck yeah, that's awesome.
Any other characters aside from Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I think also because I'm on the arcane train as everybody else
Silco.
is. Yeah, did you know it already?
Well, you told. I remember when I posted about the doing an arcane podcast review that you were saying you were wanting to get Silco done.
True. I Silco apologist raising my hand right now. I love that man, and I very much think it would be huge fun to cosplay
It
him. So
would
he's definitely on my list.
it'd be pretty cool, especially doing the since you do makeup and everything. I think it'd be pretty cool to see how you go about doing his makeup and going about doing his eye because I know one of his eyes is black and then has it's like yellow or red.
hmm Yeah, it would definitely be my first time like looking into and trying out the I think it's pronounced sclera lenses. The
The
ones that like a lot of Tokyo Ghoul cosplayers use.
the fully blacks out your eye and then just the
Yeah,
the iris color. Yeah, I've seen people. I would never want to do that myself because I feel like I wouldn't be able to see for shit.
no. I'm like it's definitely like my mother at age like when I was 14 like in the back of my head being like you're gonna blind yourself, but you know, might as well give it a whirl.
I mean, it'd be pretty cool to see how you pull off Silco from Arcane.
It'd be really fun. Definitely one that I'd want to take to a convention because I feel like, especially with like Arcane bringing the hype of League back,
Hmm.
there's going to be probably 1,000 million Jinx cosplayers, and so I can hug all of my daughters.
Aww. Um. So before we end this, any last minute advice you want to give out? Oh wait, one more. Because I believe you have. What is it like entering cosplay competition? So one question I forgot to ask because I know you've been in some cosplay competitions and you've been in a few karaoke lip sync ones.
Yes, that is correct. I definitely the lip syncs are a lot more fun. I'll just say that straight out, for obvious reasons. Um, but I've definitely noticed like the lip syncs are a lot more like they have a lot more casual feel. Like it's just a lot of people having fun. Like even though you're being judged, quote unquote. I definitely think the vibes are a lot more laid back. But like actual like cosplay competitions, I've definitely like that's when I've seen the more like serious and structured side of cosplay, which I think is really cool to experience. Also, like getting to see like actual craftsmanship and like artists who are dedicating so much time and energy into their work. Because like obviously, you know, no matter what, you're having fun, you're doing cosplay right, but at the same time, getting to see someone who's like so masterful at their craft, like create something so lovingly is like a whole other experience, and it's been so fun to see people do that at the competition level.
And you've also been on the other side as the cosplay judge as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe, yeah, I think I did that at
Mm,
Medford. Was it Annie Medford?
yeah, it was Anna Medford. You were cosplaying as I want to say you were Junko.
You're absolutely right. The way that you know my life better than I do, but yes, you're
I mean
absolutely
I
correct.
have at least I have a decent memory when it comes to someone's cosplay, especially if it was like if it's a really well if it's a good cosplay. I mean all cosplays are good cosplays.
But yeah, yeah, that was a lot of fun too. It was interesting because I grew up in Medford, like I know a lot of people in that local scene. So it was interesting to like judge people that I knew personally, which I thought was fun. And I was like, you know, I'm not gonna go easy on you. But yeah, I'd be interested to see like what it would be like at a more like a commu not like community, but like a at a con where I don't personally know as many people that are entering. I think that would be a cool experience to like not have that personal connection with the people, if that
Oh,
makes sense.
most definitely. Okay, now before we end this, what's some last minute advice you want to give to cosplayers and con goers, whether they're cosplayers and con goers that are new to this or been doing it for a while, or those who've been doing it for a very long time.
Let me see. I would say like, you know, obviously like the have fun and like be yourself. It seems very tired and very oversaid, but it could not be more of the truth. I think especially with like the way the cosplay community has kind of shifted as of late, it's very important to remember that like you're not gonna look the same as everybody else. You're not gonna be at the same skill level as everybody, and that's okay. You can still be your best at your current skill level, and you can always, always, always improve. I always see it as like, I used to be very guilty of this, where like I'd see someone cosplaying, like maybe even they were cosplaying the same character as me, and I'd immediately just like pick out all the things about my costume that I didn't like anymore because I was like, oh, this person looks way better. Darn it, I never want to cosplay this person again. But then if you flip it on the other side and you turn it like, oh, like this person did this, that was really creative. Let me see if I can incorporate that the next time I make another costume. Or like, oh, I really like how they styled their wig. Maybe I can learn from their techniques and improve yourself. So if you kind of switch it from being like, oh man, they're better than me, to like, oh, they tried something different. Let me try something different. It has helped me leaps and bounds with like my self image and like my confidence and wanting to work towards bettering myself.
And I think that's that should what really matter is that not many people understand that whether especially some of the people who've been doing this for a long time how and I've seen it. I'm not sure if it's true, but I know there are some cosplayers out there, especially those who've been doing this for a long time, don't like it when someone new was trying to get into this fandom or this hobby. It's like, no, you shouldn't be doing this. If you can't, make a cosplay that looks like Kamoya cosplays costumes or Yaya Hans, you should be cosplaying. Because there's also those new cosplayers new to this when they see people like that, they think that's what cosplay is. Like this big build, screen accurate cosplays.
Which, like, if that is what you're wanting to do with your cosplay career, by all means, make that your goal to like be the next community cosplayer, like, be a name brand like Yaya Han. But also, like, that doesn't always have to be the end goal. Like, at the end of the day, like, it can just be like, oh, like, you want to go to the con and hang out with your friends, and that's totally fine as your end goal. It's just, maybe you just want to learn how to like style a wig so it suits your face better. Like, your goals don't have to be giant, but you also don't have to limit yourself.
Always start small. And real quick, I forgot to mention this. Thrift stores, thrifting for your cosplay, especially on a budget, are your best friend.
Absolutely. Most of my stuff that I get that isn't either made by me or like I already own, I get from the thrift store. And then you can modify it from there and it helps with your budget. Great. Thrift stores, best friend.
Oh yeah. I think that should about do it again, Roman. Thank you for coming on to this episode of Cosplay Contact to redo your interview.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me a
Of course.
second time.
Always. As again, I'm Wendy Unknown. Thank you for listening to this episode of Cosplay Contact, and until next time, thank you for watching.